A history of discord sectarianism in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, a land known for its vibrant culture and rich history, bears the scars of sectarian tensions. These tensions are not new, they are deeply rooted in the country's past, woven into the fabric of its society. Since its independence in 1971, Bangladesh has struggled to shake off the legacy of religious and political divisions. These divisions have often manifested in violence and discrimination against minority communities, particularly Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians. The partition of India in 1947, which led to the creation of Pakistan and India, sowed the seeds of religious tension in the region. East Pakistan, later to become Bangladesh, inherited a system that often marginalized its Hindu population. This marginalization was further exacerbated by the rise of religious nationalism in Pakistan, which sought to impose a singular Islamic identity on a diverse population. The violence that accompanied the 1971 Liberation War of Bangladesh, while primarily a struggle for independence, also witnessed targeted attacks on Hindus and other minorities. Though Bangladesh emerged as a secular nation, the seeds of religious intolerance had been sown, and they would continue to plague the nation in the decades to come. The unraveling Sheikh Hasina's resignation and the rise of violence. The year 2024 marked a turning point in Bangladesh's struggle with sectarianism. The resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on August 5th, following a wave of student-led protests, created a power vacuum that was quickly exploited by extremist elements. Within days, reports of violence against minority communities began to surface. Temples were vandalized, homes and businesses were looted and burned, and innocent people were attacked simply because of their faith. The speed and ferocity of the violence shocked many, raising fears that Bangladesh was teetering on the brink of a major sectarian conflagration. The violence was not random, it appeared to be orchestrated, with mobs often using social media to spread rumors and incite hatred. The situation was particularly dire in Chittagong, where at least 15 people were killed in a series of attacks on Hindu neighborhoods in late September. A government in denial. The interim regime's response. The interim government, led by Muhammad Yunus, responded to the escalating violence with a mixture of indifference and denial. Despite mounting evidence to the contrary, the government insisted that the violence was politically motivated, not sectarian. They downplayed the scale of the attacks and accused the media of exaggerating the situation. This lack of acknowledgement, coupled with the government's slow and inadequate response, further emboldened the perpetrators of violence. The police were often slow to react to reports of attacks, and in some cases they were accused of complicity or even active participation in the violence. The interim government's failure to protect its minority citizens has been widely condemned, both within Bangladesh and internationally. Critics argue that their inaction has only served to exacerbate the climate of fear and impunity. Living in fear. The plight of Bangladesh's minorities. For the Hindu, Buddhist and Christian communities of Bangladesh, the months following Sheikh Hasina's resignation have been a time of terror and uncertainty. Many live in a state of constant fear, afraid to practice their faith openly or even to venture out of their homes. The violence has had a devastating impact on their lives, their livelihoods, and their sense of security. Families have been displaced, forced to flee their homes and seek refuge in makeshift camps or with relatives in other parts of the country. Businesses have been destroyed, leaving many without a source of income. The psychological toll of the violence is immeasurable, leaving deep scars on individuals and communities. The situation has led many members of minority communities to question their future in Bangladesh. Some are contemplating leaving the country altogether, seeking a safer life elsewhere. This exodus of talent and diversity would be a tragic loss for Bangladesh. Section 5. A chorus of condemnation, the international response. The international community has watched the events in Bangladesh with growing alarm. India, which shares a long border with Bangladesh and is home to a large Bangladeshi diaspora, has expressed deep concern over the violence. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have issued scathing reports documenting the atrocities and criticizing the government's inaction. The United Nations has also called for an end to the violence and urged the Bangladeshi government to take concrete steps to protect its minority citizens. However, these appeals have largely fallen on deaf ears. The international community's response has been hampered by the Bangladeshi government's reluctance to acknowledge the sectarian nature of the violence. This denial makes it difficult for international organizations to provide targeted assistance or to hold the perpetrators accountable. Section 6. The long road ahead, seeking solutions for a fractured nation. Addressing the deep-seated sectarian divisions in Bangladesh will require a multifaceted and long-term approach. There are no quick fixes. It is imperative to address the immediate security concerns and bring the perpetrators of violence to justice. This will involve strengthening law enforcement agencies, ensuring their impartiality, and ending the culture of impunity that has allowed such atrocities to occur. However, security measures alone will not be enough. It is equally important to address the root causes of sectarianism, which include poverty, inequality, lack of education, and the politicization of religion. Section 7. The roots of division, understanding the causes of sectarianism. To effectively combat sectarianism, it's crucial to understand its underlying causes. In Bangladesh, these causes are complex and interconnected. One significant factor is the lack of economic opportunity and social mobility. When certain groups are marginalized and denied equal access to resources and opportunities, it can breed resentment and fuel tensions. Furthermore, the manipulation of religious sentiments for political gain has played a detrimental role. Political parties have often exploited religious differences to consolidate power and mobilize support, further dividing communities along religious lines. Section 8. Building bridges, promoting interfaith harmony and understanding. A critical aspect of healing the rifts within Bangladeshi society lies in fostering interfaith dialogue and understanding. Initiatives that bring together religious leaders, community members, and youth from different faiths can help to break down stereotypes, build relationships, and promote tolerance. Educational reforms that promote critical thinking, empathy, and respect for diversity are also essential. By instilling these values in future generations, there is hope for a more inclusive and harmonious society. Section 9. A call for justice. Ending impunity and ensuring accountability. Accountability is crucial for achieving lasting peace and reconciliation. The failure to hold perpetrators of sectarian violence accountable has created a climate of impunity, emboldening further violence. The Bangladeshi government must take concrete steps to ensure that justice is served. This includes conducting thorough and impartial investigations into all acts of violence, prosecuting those responsible, and providing redress to victims and their families. By demonstrating that there will be consequences for violence and discrimination, a clear message can be sent that such acts will not be tolerated.